Welcome to M&B Airgun review. Well, those of you who follow my channel know I'm in the process of moving. Got a lot of stuff boxed up. Little makeshift conglomeration I got going on here right now, but I'm going to discuss a few things with you. Trying to get an AEA video uploaded. Hopefully I can get some fragments of that uploaded for you today. Lost a lot of information in some video work. But I'll get what I can up for you. Take it easy on me because, well, I lost a lot. I think I'm going to have to redo it. But I did have some interesting results. But some of the talking points are missing. So, but it's still a good watch. It'll give you an idea of the accuracy of the AEA itself. And as you can see in front of me, we have the Cattleman M1. The stock has been beautifully refinished. And it's just awaiting its final wet sand and polish, which a lot of people think it looks good already, and I'll admit it does look pretty good. How does it shoot? Well, you're going to be the first to know. We're going to get to that shortly. Where I live right now, we are getting a bunch of snow out of the blue, which is really crazy, again, seeing as how it was close to 70 the other day. Very cold, wet, freezing, snowing, not fun. But let's check out some things today. Let's get this Cattleman out of the way. And we're going to check out a few things that my viewers might be interested in. And thank you for each and every one of you. Thank you. I'm at this point right now, I think I'm about 4 or 5 subscribers off from my 1,000 subscribers. And I want to thank each one of you personally for sticking with me, subscribing to this channel. We've made this journey really, really quick. And I'm very happy. You guys are wonderful. And without you, this wouldn't happen. So thank you so much, and stay tuned because soon we are going to be having some kind of giveaways, and I hope to make it a regular thing. I'm getting a lot of interest from other PCP manufacturers, and things are going good. I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to keep things as real as possible, and I think that's what my viewers want. So let's continue to do that. Let's put this bench away. I was out to, let's make sure I get the sporting goods store right, because like I said, this is for the moment. I was at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I walked in. I was looking for something to carry a lot of my gear in that, well, would hold a lot of stuff. And I come across this Plano case, which is really, really cool. It's called a Sportsman's trunk. It's heavy duty. It's in Plano. It's got hooks on each side, and I'm curious if it'll fit what I need to carry. So let's do that together. Oh, by the way, this thing, I was looking at anything I could to put ammo in, be it ammo or maybe even a little ammo box in here or whatever. But I was looking for cases, and these cases that I kept running into were, well, $100 to $150 range. And I come across this one, it was $40. And it's got places for locks on it. And it's a nice trunk that will pretty much carry what I need it to carry. So it's pretty big on the inside. I'll take this is the top, heavy duty. There's your 4 hooks, your 4 latches. It's nice and deep, and the model is 1919. There's your model. It does have wheels, which is nice. Okay, but what can I carry in it? Well, the things I need to carry with me most of all are things that have to do with my shooting. A little bit of tools, some ammo, maybe a backdrop. I need my gun rest, things of that nature. So let's see what we can exactly put in here. The things that I need, my chronograph. So we have a backdrop that I like to keep with me to use outside sometimes if it's not too windy. We'll throw that in there. I do have lots of ammunition, and I get it from Pyramid Air, and I like to keep them loaded up. This is full top to bottom. So put my ammo in here. Another big thing of ammo. And I have some FX slugs. We'll stuff those in between right there. It takes up the space neatly. I do have 2 small accessory kits that I got with my Cattleman guns that I keep various magazines and everything like that in there. So that seems to fit pretty decent in here. We'll put those on this side, kind of separate it. I do have various targets that I carry. We put those down. I don't like to scratch those up, so we'll keep those on the bottom. There's splatter targets. What else do we got? have some more ammunition. This is 50 cal ammunition. We'll place that on the bottom over here also. And that was really nice. That ammunition was sent to me from Randy Morgan. Randy, thank you again for that 50 cal. Just as soon as my 50 cal is out of service, I'm servicing it right now. I'm waiting on some parts. Those will be getting ran in the 50 cal. Okay, then we have a laser bore sighter, but we're not going to load that because I might do something with that. I have my phone, a special dedicated phone that I use with my scope cam mount. So basically it's a cell phone that mounts on this cam. We can throw that in the box. I'm sure that'll fit. Yes, that fits neatly right in that corner. And we can put the phone right there in that corner. What else do we need to carry though? Well, I like to take my handy PCP pump out in the field. How is that going to fit in there? Like it's made for it almost. Beautifully. Okay. And more ammunition, varying, this is a, let's see, what is this? This is my 177s. I got some 177, just in case I'm ever out and I just need some quick ammunition for a 177. We do have our air hose for the pump. Let's tuck that safely into the bottom. But the big things are this. I have camera gear. And I have a chronograph that needs to be taken with me. Chronograph is right back here. Let's move the SIG. Caldwell Complete Chronograph Kit. Very nicely sits in the bottom. You guys can see in there already. I don't know if you can. Let's tip that up. You can see how things are going quite nicely. We do have camera gear, which is here. This is a 4K camera. That was sent to me. I have two of them that was sent to me by a viewer. Thank you so much for that. I'm not sure if their name wants to be disclosed or not, so we'll keep that private. And I'll put that there. And then what I have is, this is great. So here's my shooting rest. I can pull the end off, and with any luck, this will fit into here perfectly. As it does, this can go right there. We do have a large top on this, so it goes right over. I can carry my tape measure. You always need a tape measure. And I do have various tools that we always need. They can tuck in there nicely. Cover those there. On top of this, normally what I do is I always need my computer to use with my chronograph. I tuck this in this nice little bubble wrap, and that would tuck right there perfectly. Is there anything else? Well, I have room for many things still. I could put a scope in there. May even be able to fit a small rifle in there if need be. So it's a pretty cool case. Here is my other camera that can also sit on top of there. I do have my tripod and camera mount that you're watching on right now. That would fit in there easily. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool case. Top fits in on easily. Locks down. Like I said, it has wheels. Very, very cool, right? Very cool indeed. Plano, 40 bucks. Dick's Sporting Goods. I like it. I think it's neat. And it seems like it's going to suit the purpose that I need rather than having 15 different things and things thrown all over and sliding all around. This seems like the perfect case for me. So, we're going to go on the subject of the AEA. And if you guys are thinking about buying an AEA rifle, I suggest, my personal opinion, is that you go over to foxairpower.com, because honestly, he's got a great work ethic and he's reliable. This is the one I've been using here, and I'm getting good results. And we've come to a conclusion, both Terry and I together, I believe. We spoke with him yesterday on the phone, and this is a very accurate rifle. It is. Now, I'm going to tell you this right out of the bat before you watch the video that's going to be uploaded hopefully later on today, that the results in the video that you see are with the power wheel cranked up to 100%. And I'm doing that because this is an out-of-the-box example of what you get for performance. I had some pretty cool results. Now, let me Let's see if I can find these targets for you. They're over here. Okay. So at first we got this thing on paper, okay? And you'll see that in the first video where I got it on paper. And that's this target right here. So these were my first 2 shots up here, and that's just get the scope on and get it on paper and sighted in. And these were my last shots. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe I did here, all in the bullseye here. We're looking realistically a 1-inch spread. That's at 35 yards. And that was basically me tightening up my group to dead center. So what I did is I tightened it up dead center. So this wasn't really a reflection of the accuracy, although it was accurate enough to get on paper. Then we moved this back, and we moved it back to 50 yards, and this is 5 shots at 50 yards. Okay, we got a 1/2-inch spread here, and we same hold it twice on this one here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we same hold it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what appears to be 3 shots, that was actually 5 shots. You'll see that on video, on that video coming up. Great at 50 yards. However, once we moved it back to 75 yards, it was a different story. We got a 1 3/4 spread here. Varying results. Very interesting results, because I thought it would have been tighter. But hold on. Remember that the gun was cranked up to 100%. Probably not well suited to run at 100% at that yardage. And then we moved it back to 100 yards, and as you can see, the accuracy was greatly diminished. Now, I say that, but I did a little experimenting, because there's something that I always do with a rifle. And what I did was I pulled off, you're not going to see this in the video because that footage is lost, but we're going to get a video out showing you this very soon, as I pulled the shroud off. Now, if you need a backyard-friendly gun, I don't advise that you pull the shroud off, because it's going to be loud. It's loud without the shroud on and the moderator on it. So what you're going to want to do, though, if you want accuracy, this gun is a lot more accurate, at least with it cranked up, with the shroud off. And as you know, if you follow this channel, you know that's due to harmonics, and the harmonics of the barrel and the vibration of the barrel, the ringing of the bell, I like to call it. You'll notice the AEA on the 30 calibers do not run a shroud, and of course there's a reason for that, because, well, it's an accurate gun, and to keep it more accurate, you don't want any interference with the barrel itself. You don't want to change the dynamic of the tone or the ring of the barrel itself. So I'm going to show you guys a bit of a difference here. Now, remember, this was not done at 100 simply because I ran out of time, but this was our first group at 75, as you can see. I hope you can see that. That's our first group at 75, okay? And that is an 1 3/4 spread, and I honestly haven't even measured this one, but I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison. With the shroud off at 75 yards, you'll notice a considerable difference. Do you see the difference here, guys? So, from that, there we go, from there to there. That's the difference it makes with a shroud off. Now, people say you got to turn it down. Well, my point is this. I didn't turn it down, and it still grouped very well. Very respectable at 75 yards versus okay at 75 yards too. Well, not so hot at 100. Now, I did test this at 100, but I do not have the target. I have misplaced it, and I did not get it on film, so it doesn't make a difference anyhow. But I will assure you that this group at 100 yards was extremely tightened up more without the shroud. When you pull a trigger on a PCP and you hear that little ping, ping, that's a frequency. It's a tone, if you will. And that resonation transfers to the barrel. Now, when PCPs weren't so powerful as they are today, especially on the AEA, where it obviously is a powerful gun and it's cranked all the way up, it had not as much of an effect interfering with the vibrational tone of the barrel. On firearms, it's an extreme effect, but that does transfer to the PCP world also. Controlling the harmonics is very important, but what's more important, if you don't have to control the harmonics. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you have a free-floating barrel and you're not messing with the barrel and you're not adding or attaching anything to the barrel and everything is secure and fixed in the place it's supposed to be all the time, your harmonics are very, takes a little more to affect them, to make a variance in your hit. Now remember, a little vibrational variance at the muzzle translates into a much bigger one at the target and translates to a bigger one the farther out you go. That's just common sense. So if we can keep a barrel ringing or vibrating at the same frequency all of the time, which is a little bit harder with PCPs because, well, we have varying air pressures that are dropping constantly. So naturally we want to keep it as tight as we can and the vibration as close to the frequency as we can throughout our shooting process all the time. So in effect, that's what we're doing. We're keeping it as close as we can. Now the simple effect of adding a shroud, let alone adding baffles, totally changes the frequency. But what else does it do? Well, it gives you two contact points also. It gives you a contact point in here, and then you have a contact point in here. Now, we're threading this on. We have two contact points that are varying in pressure on each side, and the more we tighten it, the more it's going to vary that pressure. So if I tighten this up, how tight's too tight? How tight's not tight enough? If you pull this off and you sight it in your rifle and you put this back on later on, did you get it to the same tension? Well, that's going to definitely make your shot vary. So what do you do? Well, if you're target shooting, you just remove it altogether, you sight it in without it, and you're going to have more accurate and tighter groups. If you need it backyard friendly, well, you're going to have to screw it on, and you're probably not going that far anyhow, so it won't make a difference, because look at how it shot at 50 yards, but then the difference at 100. My point is this. Harmonics play a huge role in PCP and firearm function. Don't take it for granted. Even the hold you have on your rifle, on your PCP, affects the accuracy of the rifle, or the hit point, if you will. If you do not hold the same grip every time, you're going to vary your shot, and you're going to have a different group every time. If you change grips, if you change what you're wearing, the clothes that the vibration is transferring to, it all has, well, some is minute and insignificant really, but it all does affect it. You'll notice usually if I take a hold or if I'm putting my hand on top of a rifle or on top of a scope, you'll usually see me do that throughout my shot string to try to produce the same results every time, because they can vary. Sometimes greatly, sometimes not. So, little lesson on harmonics of PCPs. There's a lot of argument. A lot of people just don't buy it and they don't believe me. Believe me. That's the physics of it, and that's the way it works. The only way around that is if we're talking about glass-bedded barrels, and that's another frequency issue. But with PCPs, we're talking shrouds. We're talking a screwed-on shroud on one end, touching on the other, almost impossible to get precise, the exact same tension each time. They could become loose. Too many moving parts. We have baffles inside that are shifting, that are moving, that are vibrating, and not at the same frequency every time. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And thank you so much for watching M&B Airgun Review, and thank you so much for being a part of this family. You are all greatly appreciated, and I will see you in the future soon. Big move in the process, new studio, lots more exciting stuff coming. And if you want an AEA, make sure you head over to Terry at Fox Air Power. I recommend him. He's awesome. He's helpful. And that's the only person I'm going through. So that's my recommendation. You might have your own, and that's fine too, but I can recommend him personally. And, you know, I'll take that to the bank. So thanks a lot. And thank you, Terry, for standing behind this channel and liking the reviews and actually agreeing with my reviews of the AEA and the power, and I see you're having similar results, and that makes me feel good. Thanks a lot, guys. You have a great day.